Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. I am here today to talk about my January and February favorites. So just a random collection of things I've been enjoying in those 2 months and things that I may have discovered or rediscovered. So I hope you enjoy them, and please feel free to list your favorite things or something new that you found within these last 2 months too. But I'll go ahead and start off. I've got a list down here so I don't forget anything. The first one are some books that I've been reading. I usually read right before I go to sleep, and I have a Kindle or I have the app on my phone that I usually read from. But a novel that I've really been enjoying lately, or just an author in general, is Cathy Marie Hake. And it is a author that I first discovered when I was in high school. The very first book I ever read of hers was this one, Bittersweet. And like I said, her name is Cathy Marie Hake. All the other books that I have are on my Kindle. A lot of the lists and the things that I'm going to talk about today are really kind of grandma favorites, so I apologize if you're more of like a modern lover of things that are all new, but those that know me know that I really appreciate old-fashioned things or old things in general. And these books are all set mostly pioneer days, like heading west. They're Christian fiction, and they're easy reads, but just something I like reading right before I go to sleep. All of them kind of follow along the same lines as far as, and there are some series that she has written too. I think most of them are like around 3 books each. But I really like her. I like her style of writing. She does a lot of research into some of the things that she's going to be talking about in the books. All of the characters in the books are usually really hard workers. So like I said, they're pioneers. They're working their land. They're heading west. Whenever I get done reading them, a lot of times I'm like, I've got some get up and go to go clean my house or go do something. They're just inspiring, and I'm like, okay, I think I could do that. Or as a Christian, it could just be a helpful, encouraging word in something that's in the books. I apologize, my dog's walking back and forth and he hit the tripod, so sorry about that. But that's my first favorite. I've read a couple of hers. I just searched her within Kindle and found her that way, and just have been reading different books that she's written, and I think I've read 3 within January and February. But all of them have been wonderful. I haven't read one that's not been good. The next one that I wanted to talk about were Pinterest recipes. For the longest time, I hit a slump in making bad Pinterest recipes. I would try them, and I don't know what I was doing wrong, or if they just weren't good recipes, but I have recently stumbled back upon some. I've been using my crock pot a lot, and just been going through some of those Pinterest recipes that I wanted to try or never got a chance to, and so I've been pinning a lot of them to my recipe boards on Pinterest. You can follow me there. I'm Sally Davies. And some of them have been good and some of them haven't, but I've just been trying some different things. I feel like supper's the daily dilemma. It's like, what are we gonna have? So anyways, I've tried a couple of new recipes from Pinterest. My favorite that I have found is, it's a knockoff recipe of the zuppa toscana soup from the Olive Garden, and I actually think this one's better. It was super easy. I could make it in about 45 minutes, and my husband really liked it too, and he's a picky eater, so anytime I can find something that both of us like, it's a win. But anyways, I pinned those recipes to my Pinterest account, so if you want to go look at them, I have all of them listed there. And like I said, some of them are good and some of them aren't, but I wanted to be able to remember which ones I didn't like, so I've posted them on there too still. Along with Pinterest, this is something that I've been doing for a while, but I've continued to enjoy it, is ordering groceries online through the Walmart.com. I know Kroger does this as well, but I've just been getting my groceries through Walmart.com, that you can place your order online and then pick it up the next day for free. And we started doing this actually even before our daughter was born, but even with it being colder outside and with her being so little, it's sometimes hard to get in and out of the car, or even just if you work a lot, I feel like it's easier rather than trying to go to the grocery store after work and pick up everything you need. I don't know, sometimes I just feel like this is easier. So at night I've been doing this where I have my Pinterest recipes up on one page, and then I have the Walmart.com order up on the next page, and that way I can go through, and if there's any new recipes, I can just double check what I've got. I can go downstairs and check what I've got in the pantry to make sure I'm not double ordering anything, because I'm notorious for forgetting whether or not oh, do we have a can of tomato sauce in the pantry? And then I end up with like 4 cans of tomato sauce because I can't ever remember if I've got any on hand. So I really like ordering that. You do have to do at least a $30 minimum, but for us it's not hard to do that at all. So I've been ordering like once every week and a half or so, and then occasionally we'll still go on the weekends and pick up stuff that we've run out of, or if I forgot it on the order. But on the Walmart order, I'll just list one other thing. You can see your total as you're adding things too, which I really like, because usually I have an idea in mind of how much I'm spending at the grocery store, but a lot of times you get to the register and it's like, well, that was more than what I thought I was spending. But with this, you have more of an accurate idea of how much you're spending as you go along, and you can also save favorites that you use all the time on there. And like I said, you just pick it up the next day. You go to a special parking spot, you check in on your phone, and they bring out your order to you. So that's been just so helpful with not having to get the baby out of the car and all of that good stuff. So can't say enough good things about that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about as I pull up my list here are TV shows that we've been enjoying. My husband and I like different TV shows usually, so a lot of times it's hard for us to come up with shows that both of us like to watch, but there have been a couple here lately that we found that both of us enjoy. The first series we started watching was Life in Pieces is the name of it, and I think there are, I want to say there's like 4 or 5 seasons of it right now, and we've caught up to it. Colin Hanks is in it, Tom Hanks' son. And I really like them, but Daniel and I have actually laughed out loud watching that TV show. It was so funny to watch, and just something to, like, in the day we watched an episode or 2. We've been watching it on Hulu, and I think we've fully caught up to that one. The second show that we started watching was Last Man on Earth. It's kind of a comedy about the end of the world, and there are times where it's like too cheesy, where I'm like, okay, this is moving a little bit slow. But there have been other times where it is really funny, and both of us have enjoyed watching that together. So those 2 shows have been the main ones that we have come out with. We also really like to watch Young Sheldon, and like we follow that. And also The Good Doctor has been more of like a drama that he and I have both enjoyed. Those have been the TV shows that we've been loving the most in January and February. As far as makeup goes, there are 2 palettes that I want to mention. The last one was one that I featured in my everyday makeup. If you haven't seen that, you can click on my YouTube channel and it'll show you all of the videos that I've uploaded, and you can see the makeup tutorial that I did last. But this one is the Tarte Face Shaping Palette, the Clay Play palette, and they do have a volume 2 that's out now that I haven't looked at in person, but this is the original, and it's just a neutral lover's dream. It also smells like chocolate. It smells so good. But there are 3 different sets of eyeshadows that each have 3 shadows each. Sorry, I'm probably blinding you with that mirror. And then there are 3 contouring or bronzing shades at the bottom. So I've really been enjoying this just for quick application, something to get out the door. And the other one has been a long time favorite, but I've rediscovered it. It is the Lorac Mega Pro palette. They have several Mega Pro palettes. This is the very first one. It was a limited release several years ago, and I happened to get it. I love Lorac eyeshadows. By the way, if you didn't know this, Lorac is Carol spelled backwards, and Carol is the founder of this. I don't know her last name, but just a little piece of information. But this palette has tons and tons and tons of neutral shades, as well as like fun colors. And it's got a huge mirror in it. So this is one that I've also been using if I wanted to get a little bit more creative. But they have recently come back out with this palette. So if you missed it the first time or you've never heard about it before, it's just, there's such good quality shadows. The first 2 rows are all matte, and then the bottom 2 rows are all shimmer. So it kind of fits whatever you're wanting to do. But really enjoy that. The other products I've mentioned before, the last time I did a favorites, the Paula's Choice Resist Serum. This is the ultralight super antioxidant serum, and I want to say this was like $30 when I first got it, but really have enjoyed this. And you do have to order it from the Paula's Choice website. I did see where they have it on Amazon, but I think it's either Paula's Choice just does more discounts. If you sign up for their emails, they have discounts all the time with like a certain percentage off. But I recently ran out of my face wash, and so I wanted to try the Paula's Choice face wash, and OMG, the combination between the face wash and the serum, my skin just feels so nice afterwards. This is the Resist cleanser, and it is the creamy cleanser. They also have a foaming one, so if your skin is more oily and you want to feel a little bit cleaner, they do have that as well. They have several different cleansers for all different skin types, but this one is just in the Resist line. But this is just a creamy cleanser, so it just leaves my skin feeling so nice and calm and soothing, and or soothed, and it just feels really nice afterwards. And then if I put this serum on the next morning, I wake up and my skin just feels so hydrated and just nice, like I've actually taken care of my skin. So if your skin is normal or even like a little bit dry, I would highly suggest this one. The combination of the two has just been lovely. And I want to say that this cleanser, I think it's normally $17, and they had a promotion going at the time I ordered it, so I think it was around $14 or $15. So I've really enjoyed that, would highly suggest it. Let me double check my list. I know I've got one more thing here. Oh, makeup wise too. I've been loving this lipstick. This is a Bobbi Brown lipstick called Sandwash Pink. I don't have it on today. I've got a different lipstick. Today I've got on Pink Peony by Bobbi Brown. But this one is Sandwash Pink. Supposedly this is the color that Kate Middleton wears all the time, so of course I had to have it. And I've had this one for a really long time, but I've rediscovered it in my drawer, and then I just like pairing a gloss over the top of it. I also have been wearing the Bobbi Brown lip gloss. It's just a clear topper for any color, so if you don't want any added shimmer, you just want a gloss, this is a nice one to have. And then the last thing that I've been enjoying, and again, this is such a grandma favorite, is crocheting. And my grandma taught me to crochet when I was 6 or 7 years old, but YouTube has tons of tutorials on crafting and crocheting, but I just found while I'm sitting there watching TV, I really like crocheting. So I've made a couple different things, and I'll show you just really quick. These baby blankets I made before Layton was born, but you can see it's got like a pretty little edge, and I just looked at different tutorials and decided which one I wanted. This is just a baby blanket size. Made another pink blanket. I'm working on a red one now. But I've just found that it's therapeutic. Like if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you really don't have to watch it that much, and it's super easy to pick up. I have a little hat that I made to go with this one. So it's just a little one. My husband picks at me because it's such a granny thing to do. I realize that it's therapeutic. That's all I can say. It's very satisfying not to have to think about anything. You're just like constantly making, and there are more complicated patterns that obviously require you to think a lot more, but I've just really enjoyed that. This one, I'll show you one last blanket, was actually made for me by my grandmother when I was a baby, and now I've been using it for my daughter. So they're just great. I feel like you can never have enough blankets, or you can make washcloths or baby booties or hats or whatever, and I feel like they're so appreciated too if you ever give one to somebody, especially if somebody does crochet and you give them one, because they know how much time and effort it takes to go into it. So anyways, those are some of my granny favorites that I've been enjoying for the last 2 months. I hope that you have found something that you may have liked or have enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for something I should try, then please leave it below. And like and subscribe this video if you haven't already. It was nice talking to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful March. Happy March. And I will see you in my next video.